Hey, Bowie here. Did you know that you can draw aggro by A-clicking on the portrait of an enemy hero that is in vision? Everyone knows that if you hover over to someone in a different lane, you can draw aggro from them. But if you're a potato, barely 7k player like myself, you know it's a pain in the ass to do something like that. So just A-click their portrait and draw aggro. Easy. Well, now that I have your attention, let's talk about the international. Because all of these amazing players are all in North America playing the same server, we get to watch a fair amount of 11k average MMR games. And so, I decided to explore the beautiful and vast jungle that are these games. The first thing I want to talk about is happening in this Collapse Bristleback game. Watch how dire... Holy moly, never mind. The first play I want to talk about came from Tofu. After an engagement in the mid lane, pre-rune, he goes back to top and is constantly backpacking his blood grenade to regen his HP faster without having to use a tango. With heroes like Centaur, Tiny, or anyone in this list, it can make a big difference. Going for the lane with low HP is a recipe to feed first blood, and in a game like this one, he pretty much gets back to full HP just because of this small trick. This play is from Maureen and Immersion. A fight happens top and leads to Spectre TPing back to the base. A lot of players would be okay with this. It's a core for core trade. But what if I told you Dire knows exactly where the Spectre is gonna be in about 30 seconds? Think this through. Spectre is not a hero that at this stage can farm Ancients reliably, so she can't go here. She could go big jungle, but the camps are really far away from each other and the camps are also far away from where he is. The best route for farming and also protection for a carry that doesn't do Ancients is this, and Dire reads the Spectre like a book. They even wait to gank at second 0, which is when all of the camps are alive, increasing the chance that Spec gets found. Sometimes it's hard to find your place as a support in a game. On the Dire side, there's a Loon and a Bristleback farming, you have a Shadow Demon that has no ulti, and for 9, it's not easy to find impact around the map. What he decides to do is just sit top and defend this tower for as long as he can. Watch how he abuses Fog, his mobility, and Medallion being able to draw aggro to stay top defending this tower even though he's against a very scary Kunkka and even Muerta nearby. Sometimes, simple stuff is what matters. He's defending a tower, he's leeching experience from a lane no one can or wants, and he's not dying. He's so annoying that he drags Sven to this lane. But because he leeched just enough experience, he gets to his 6, forcing the Sven to ulti whilst living. This play is getting pretty popular and it's also quite simple. As a Dire team, you will Rosh at around 18 to 19 minutes so that you can use that Aegis to brute force the enemy Tormentor, and possibly even their Wisdom Rune as well. The beauty of this play is that you have the advantage for Rosh, since you are on the Dire side, and then the Aegis gives you the advantage to force the Tormentor as well. This might be easier to pull off in a party game, but it is definitely worth it trying in a ranked match with the right teammates. Notice that they were pretty behind in kills and momentum in this game, and it was still quite easy to pull it off. Some drafts obviously are going to be better at this than others, but if your entire team goes for it, it shouldn't be a problem. Since we are talking about 9, in that same game he goes for a very early ward that can be used to spot couriers in the lane. He does get spotted by Radiant though, and watch how Skitter, knowing that a possible lane ward was deployed, micros his courier around the lane to avoid being killed. In a different game against worse players, 9 was able to munch down an insane amount of couriers with the same logic. If you want to be a big nerd about this, you can have your courier following you around the entire mid-game like Thompson did here if you're carrying a gem. Not only it's great to have it to easily deward, but it's a get out of jail card for the gem as well.
Save the gem, I don't care about my life. Oh, they see me here.
In this other fight, once he gets initiated, he micros the gem to the courier, but keeps it around close to him in case he needs the gem mid-fight. Finally, especially in the early game, micro your courier away from the fountain so that you get your items slightly faster. They always go way deeper in the fountain than they have to buy the items from the shop. So at the start of the game and up to minute 5, keep it away from the fountain. We did talk about predicting the carry farm, and here we see that play not working because of Nightfall being a god. When people talk about carries farming fast, they often forget that more important than farming fast is not feeding to smoke ganks. It's way easier to increase your GPM by not dying than farming one extra creep. Pango dies close to him, and he scans the area to see if Radiant is chasing, which they don't. But they actually smoke seconds after that, predicting that Nightfall wants to farm right ancients into triangle. Bottom was pushed for a while now with no response. Void is showing mid, which could confuse him, but the draft on Radiant can easily kill him even without Chronosphere. Radiant gets confirmation of the exact position of Nightfall, but diving with tier 1 and tier 2 up is way too crazy, so they patiently wait. This ward though gives away that a courier delivered something to someone under smoke. Nightfall just mantas and stays in the base for a while. A lot of people hate to have support Nature's Prophet on their team because most NPs don't know how to take the hard farm and leave the easy farm for their cores. In this game, KJ is in a weird part of the game. Both Loon and Bristleback want to farm, and Radiant is grouping up. They can't fight right now, but NP wants and needs to scale. So instead of taking farm away from either one of them, he just TPs here and starts taking Radiant's farm. A while later, he wars the enemy triangle and gets farmed there instead. He even kills a courier and, well, he dies a little bit afterwards. In the process, he denies his ward, he forces a favorable fight for his team, and this is just a great showing of how you can still farm as NP without taking it from your team. In this game, AOI stacked tons of ancient creeps, but Snake King quickly understood what he was up to and killed the large camp ones. He warded the triangle, and in general, made AOI's game awful, since even after picking a Wisdom Rune, he was level 5 at 11 minutes. The thing though is that the Dire team was pretty garbage at clearing Ancient stacks, which meant that the Ancient ones were still up. Eventually, Radiant as a team commits to taking it, and not only they get an RTZ kill as Dire tries to stop it, but with an echo on the Ancients, AOI gets a full level in seconds. They end up winning this game, by the way, despite the 5k goal lead Dire held at 11 minutes. Hey, I know I said I was not going to take too much time talking about this anymore, but a lot of people asked in the comments about the components of the keyboard I'm giving away and will soon start selling. So the switches are mostly Gateron, but one of them is KO Jad. The keys are made of PBT and are from YMDK. The board itself is a G60 from QMK, and the plate is made of aluminum. If you want to participate in the giveaway, join my Patreon for any of the promotional tiers I have going. The $5 one is for the giveaway only, and the other two have a promotional price that will never be available again after 1 month. I'm doing the lower price because right now I'm editing videos for like 14 hours a day and I don't have time to finish the PDFs and all of the other things I'm promising there. So you're getting a discount for that, and you're also helping me out during some pretty rough financial times until everything gets sorted. Finally, if you actually want to buy this keyboard, you can find in the description a link. It's pretty much just a newsletter, so you can add your email, and once we have more details about selling, we can let you know.